jumping the tallow, tallow and salt, jumping along, long to rotten, jumping the cotton, cotton so white. She stayed there all night.
Alright, let's talk about saw teeth on knives. Very controversial subject. Specifically, I want to talk about saw teeth on pilots' knives, air crew member knives, things like that. If you've been in the knife game for very long, you probably have heard people say something like, you know, saw teeth on knives is pretty worthless. I've probably said that a time or two in the past, just out of sheer ignorance, not being used to using them, not really knowing what they were for. Just assuming that they were made to saw wood. At least on pilots' knives, they were never intended to saw wood. I think that's pretty much where the whole idea of saw teeth being useless comes from. The experts went out and tried to saw a night's worth of wood with it, and realized real quick that that's not what they're made for. They don't work that way. So therefore they deemed them useless. Like most of you all, when I first got into this stuff, that's who I listened to, the guys who wrote the books. And the more you do this stuff, the more you realize that a lot of people that write books are good at writing books. They're not so great at doing stuff they write about. If you're writing about doing stuff in the woods, then you should have some practical knowledge of doing stuff in the woods, in my opinion. But anyway, saw teeth were not made at all to saw through wood, not for pilot's knives. So what were they intended to do would be the logical question. If you read about them, they were intended to, specifically for a bolt knife, it's intended to be able to smack the canopy on a jet or an aircraft, to smack the canopy with the bolt, crack the canopy, jam your knife blade in, and cut your way out to the plastic on the canopy. So that's the official reasoning behind it. Now, I cannot tell you if they've actually ever been used for such a thing, or if they're practical for that sort of thing. I don't have any Air Force canopies, aircraft canopies laying around to cut through. But I know they were not designed to cut wood. A saw that is designed to cut wood will have, the teeth will be set. In other words, when the saw blade itself, the teeth go through the wood, they cut a wider curve or a wider slot than the rest of the blade. Saw teeth on a pilot's knife, they're not designed that way. So if a woods expert, quote expert, goes out and tries to use it to, to cut big logs in half, and finds that it's, unable to do that, and they label it useless, is it actually true that they're useless? Well, no, it's not. It may be useless for that specific task that they were never designed to do. That doesn't mean that they're useless altogether. For me, the first practical use is aesthetics. I like the way they look, and I know that we want to all be macho and say that the only reason we pick a knife was for its utilitarian service to us, and that's fine. If that's the way you are, that's great. But I'll be the first to admit that I buy a knife first on its utilitarian purposes, and secondly, on looks. Very similar to file work. People will buy a knife because they like the look of the file work on the spine. Sawback, in my opinion, is no different. Where some people find beauty in intricate file work on the spine, I find beauty in the saw teeth. I think they look cool. I'm not afraid to admit that at all.
My lips will never touch a drop of that wicked devil brew.
I'll blast it all with dynamite like the revenuers do.
I won't lie, tell you that they're a necessity because I don't believe they are. Like I say, if they don't get in the way of what you do and how you do it, then who cares? There's one use to protect your cordage from any kind of abrasion. Recess it down into sticks you're tying together. Once again, not an essential use, but if you didn't have the saw teeth, you wouldn't have the option. Absolutely, you could do that with the blade of your knife, but you can do it a lot easier with the saw teeth and a lot faster. But it is a use. And what we're talking about is, are saw teeth useless?
The sun has now replaced the moon's position in the sky. I'm heading up the trail to my old still up in the pines. I'll send it up to Kingdom come my liquor factory. And again I'll be a poor man, but again I shall be free. I set off 2 short fuses and I double time it back. But I hear no explosion and it stops me in my tracks.
Basically what it boils down to is this, in my opinion. If you like it and it works, use it. But don't go around bad-mouthing it, saying it's useless if you don't know what you're talking about. There's too much of that going around. But most of all, don't listen to what I say or what anybody else says. Go out and try it for yourself. Sorry, I gotta use some lumber here. Didn't get a chance to go to the woods today, so forgive me for that. Alright, now you can obviously do this without saw teeth. I show it in my videos and lots of other people do too. But the point is, saw teeth don't impede the progress. You might check out Mr. Black's channel. It's called Operational Extras. He has a video up, at least one I know of, on the tracker knife and the using the spine, which has saw teeth on it. Might check out that video because he knows what he's doing, and he's got some experience with this sort of thing. So if you're interested in more of this stuff, definitely check out Operational Extras. I think Mr. Black is going to do another video on saw teeth. Send it up to Kingdom come my liquor factory. And again I'll be a poor man, but again I shall be free. I set off 2 short fuses and I double time it back. But I hear no explosion and it stops me in my tracks. I turn to see what happens. The dynamite. So my point is, in summary, saw teeth, first thing, not made for wood cutting. What's the harm? Second thing is, they're not useless. Alright, that's all I got to say. Thanks for bearing with me. Sometimes I get off on these tangents where, I see something written enough times, or I hear it enough that that I think is wrong. Then I like to address it and encourage people who might be believing. I appreciate you watching. I've been sipping on my latest batch. It's dark and I'm alone. Help me make it to my shack where I will promise you my lips will never